So, do you know why the African American schools took longer to integrate in West Virginia?
I can tell you from a practical standpoint, I could kind of understand, okay, that elementary schools are normally smaller, right, than high schools are. So I can see that if you had 20 elementary schools that had been all African American elementary schools, that you can say, well, it's going to be hard. We got to build new buildings. That's what I've tried to rationalize it that way. Maybe that was the reason for it. It was easier in some places to integrate at the high school level because they were smaller, and I think they made a transition. Whereas all African American high schools normally have been 7 through 12, whereas the Caucasian schools were 9 through 12. And so it may have been easier to create junior highs, right, with all the 7th through 9th graders in the high school, and then maybe it just took them long to do it. Oh, but on the other hand, there may have been cultural resistance. And I think that in some places that played into it, that the Caucasian community wanted to socialize its children around this issue of race and around the issue of racial superiority at the elementary school level, and then allow them to have these segregated experiences for the first 6 years of their education before they moved in. And someone would have to dissect it. I don't know, but it didn't appear to me that they were trying to do in all deliberate speed, as Brown said. I don't think it took 8 years to integrate elementary schools in Fayette County. Someone just decided we're not going to be in a hurry to do it. And that's what it looked like to me. I remember the last year of segregation at elementary level, there were only 52 of us. 52 first grade through 6th grade. Okay, black students continued to go to W.E. Du Bois. They kept a school open for 52 kids for a whole year. I don't know why that happened. And they told us we were a part of the school, right? So supposedly the school was integrated into Mount Elementary School, but we still went to W.E. Du Bois. We still went, and that last year we only had 2 teachers. Mrs. Wheeler had 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Mrs. Watkins had 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Ms. Watkins really ran the school. The principal would come up there 2 days a week from Mount Hope Elementary School. Let me tell you an experience I really recall from my elementary school years. I was in the 5th grade, the last year of W.E. Du Bois, that we were segregated. And I'd gotten wind that they had a basketball team at Mount Hope Elementary. And we were supposed to have been a part of Mount Hope Elementary School. But because we were not physically at that location, it was probably about a mile between the 2 schools. But in the country, a mile ain't nowhere. There's nothing to walk that. That's nothing. Tell my grandkids to walk a mile, they think I'm practicing grandparent abuse, right? And they don't walk down the street. We walked all the time. We never had a car. We walked to school 2 miles probably from McDonough Hill to Du Bois. But I got wind of it. I always loved basketball, and I went and told my mom. My mom was a feisty person, and she would take things, but she wouldn't take nothing, any type of mistreatment of her kids. So she called the principal, and she said, if y'all got a basketball team, if he's good enough to be on the team, I want him to have a chance to play. He's supposed to be a part of Mount Elementary. And so the principal said, well, this, that. He said, no, he can walk up there. So sure enough, the principal, he made arrangements for me to have a tryout and for me to come up there to Mount Elementary. And he came down there. They practiced during noon, and he came down, and I'm just sitting over there because the coach didn't know why I was there, and I'm just there, so he didn't put me in. He's put me over on the side. I was just sitting and watching the kids play. principal came in, I saw him talk to the coach, and the coach beckoned me to come in and put me in, you know. And so he put me in, and, you know, I did okay. And so then the coach decided he was going to let me play. So then when I go back to the school, my other friends find out, and I tell them what's going on, and then our teacher, Ms. Watkins, she becomes the advocate. She then goes to the principal and says, well, why can't all of them that want to play get a chance to play? And so then they had to let us all in. So I was kind of Jackie Robinson of sorts. They let us all come in, and we came up. But let me tell you what they did. They kept us segregated. And so we had to come up as a team, and we played as a team. And I think one of the greatest, most satisfying things that we had was that we ended up winning the school championship. And in all fairness, what they did, all the classes had to come in as a team. So since we were a class at Du Bois, we came in as a team. And so the first round, we made it to the championship, and then we lost. But see, we didn't have no place to practice. And they had this full court and an indoor basketball court. They had an indoor gymnasium and had 2 outdoor courts. Well, where we went at W. Du Bois, we only had a merry-go-round. We didn't have a swing set. We didn't have nothing but a merry-go-round. There was a swing that had been there. I don't know if someone had fell years early and broke. I don't know what happened, but they never would put swings on it. So we didn't have a swing set. We didn't have nothing, just a dirt playground. Mrs. Watkins got her husband. He took his money. He is retired. He went to the lumber store. He bought lumber and wood. He came and built us a basketball hoop in the turnaround space where the buses would come and turn around, so that we would be able to practice during recess. And we got there, we practiced, and we got us some plays together, and then we came back, we won the championship. It was quite satisfying. Even the coach got a kick out of it. He kind of got a kick out of the boys from Du Bois coming up to the fancy school, right? And winning the championship. It was fun. I never forget the look on their faces in terms of how much better we had gotten, right? So anyway, that's another idea of the commitment that a teacher like Ms. Watkins had to us. She wanted to see us treated fairly. And she wanted to see us have a chance to compete, you know, and show what we could do. So, and that's just the way it was all through my childhood. When you go up there now, you know, people, they still love me, you know. A lot of people passing away now that were adults when I was a kid growing up, but they always encouraged us. They always encouraged us.
When you